Welcome to What If Deku Had Bendy's Powers, the last part. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed this series, and make sure to say thank you to Isaiah, the person that recommended this. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right on back into this. Now we go to Bendy, who was trapped in a cage last time due to his own, not knowing the existence of the two beings in his head, being the Beast, Bendy, and the Ink Demon. Now, Deku was grilling stuff on a grill he had made through the ink because he saw some control within his mindscape because it's his mindscape. The others just have better control because they've been trapped in there for so long and they know the place. So as he's grilling some hamburgers, the same thing that like in the trailer that they had seen, as the Beast Bendy Deku gets up and smells something delicious. As it walks over and sees Bendy grilling, as its mouth starts to drool ink. Oh, give me about 5 minutes and it'll be done for you. Of course, you're gonna have to open the cage to get in here, but give me 5 minutes. As Deku is grilling, we go outside to where the Ink Demon is just still invisible, staying there. Finally, they show up. As, of course, the doorbell rings. It says, "Did someone order a pizza? Pizza delivery." As they contemplate, who ordered a pizza? Twice it says, "Oh, I did. No, I didn't." I'll check it out. As, I believe, Spinner? The lizard cork guy, it's hard to remember that guy's name. Anyway, he goes to open the door, and of course the heroes do their little shenanigan, open the door, get caught, or they open the door and the heroes come bursting in. And this is where the Ink Demon is just sitting at the bar and is just enjoying a little drink that's floating in the air. As, of course, the LOV is about to get teleported away, as, "I see that little trick you did," as the Ink Demon smiles. As then they suddenly, instead of the same teleportation that got used on them earlier by All For One, tendrils come out from the floor and grab all the LOV members. And Bakugo, and they're teleported somewhere nearby. As all the heroes are confused, but then All For One shows up, Nomu show up, and the battle commences. As the Ink Demon, sees All For One and All Might chatting, just talking, same villain monologue as the anime. As then the Ink Demon comes down. Well, if it isn't the number one hero and number one villain. As All Might and All For One look over. All For One asks, "Who might you be?" "I am the Ink Demon. I've been pulling some strings in the shadows. You may not know it, but we were the person that defeated Stain." "No, you didn't," All Might says, as he was informed about the Stain incident. "Oh, you thought Bendy beated him, didn't you?" As All Might says yes. "Well, I've already taken care of that little pest. He's been a thorn in my side for, a decade. Whether if he knows it or not. So I simply have him locked up." As, All Might says, "Where is he? Wouldn't you like to know? But first, I need to get rid of the two most threats that's in my way currently. And that would be you two." As he points at both All For One and All Might. "So shall we have this little battle or what?" As All For One says, "We're villains. Why don't we team up together to defeat All Might?" As, of course, All For One's thinking, "Yes, I'll just have him team up, and then when All Might's weakened, I'll just steal his quark." As the Ink Demon smiles. "Really now, you should really pay close attention to your surroundings." As All For One gets uppercutted by a ink hand coming out of the ground, sending him flying in the air as he's surprised. As All Might's surprised. As then he also gets hit by an arm that comes out of the wall, because the Ink Demon can make portals, same as Deku. So, as he's sent into a building, I'm not taking sides. Let this be a three-way battle. I don't care. I've already dispatched of your, well, friends, all for one. Really? Where are they? Wouldn't you like to know? As, well, Deku finally finished the hamburgers. As he taunts the Beast Bendy Deku until he just breaks the cage. Of course, electrocuting himself because it was meant to keep Deku in and keep, anyone trying to free him out, except the Ink Demon. So as he breaks it and starts devouring the hamburgers, we see a few familiar faces drop in. Because, technically, I'm making this a thing. Deku's mindscape is the Ink Demon's domain, the Ink Demon's world. So, the Yellow V and Bakugo just drop all throughout the Ink Demon world. As, of course, the Beast Bendy Deku hears this. As then, a message from, the Ink Demon appears on the wall. We have intruders. Deal with them. As the Beast Bendy Deku gets up from what he was doing and starts to go find them. As now we go to Deku's now out of the cage. So where do I go? Where's the exit around here? And he's contemplating where the exit is, so he's just going to be roaming around the halls for the time being. As we go back to the fight outside. As the Ink Demon is currently battling All For One and All Might, who they're in a three-way battle, all taking hits on each other. Of course, most of the hits on the Ink Demon are passing right through him. All For One sends his tendrils, which go straight through him. Does not harm the Ink Demon in any way. You think those parlor tricks will work on me? As he simply just makes his arm into a blade and cuts off the tendrils that went through him. As, of course, it's hard for All Might to keep up with All For One with his multiple quirks versus, Bendy. As All For One is on the brink of being hurt a lot because he's been taking punches from All Might and the Ink Demon, taking several blows. As, I didn't want to call this in, but since I don't know where they're at. He presses a button. As we go to a forest as someone emerges. Gigantomachia, I need your assistance. As Gigantomachia, runs through the forest and through cities to get to All For One, which will take him about roughly 5 to 10 minutes. So we go back to the fight. As the Ink Demon is just punching All Might, evading all of his hits, as All Might and All For One, in their minds, are contemplating how to actually hit the Ink Demon, because they've not landed a single blow on him. As, then suddenly he gets his head goes to the ground. As the Ink Demon is like, what happened? As we go to, Bendy Deku, who's currently in the Mindscape, who's like, okay, what did I just hit? As he's looking around the room, because he felt like he hit something, because he had fallen from one of the broken floors in his realm in the Mindscape, being the Ink Demon realm. As he doesn't know what he hit, he just starts going to look for the exit. And this is where we go back to the little LOV members who have been scared all out through the Mindscape. The first to go was Spinner and the one with the magnet quirk. I can never get that name right. But yeah, they don't put up much of a fight, and both of them are pretty much out of commission. As after they were defeated, they were quickly dropped off outside the Mindscape and fell on an ambulance. They got lucky. Now, the Beast Bendy Deku is now going to go after more people in the Mindscape. As well, Bendy's walking through the halls. He comes across a familiar face. Hey, Bakugo! As he waves his hand, as Bakugo looks over and sees Bendy. How are you here? I don't know. I just kind of got sent here a while ago. I was locked up here, actually. Wait, a villain got you too? I don't know, but apparently we're in my mind, I think? As Bakugo is confused. In your mind? Possibly? Or we could be in an entirely different place. I have no clue. Well, we need to find the exit. Yeah, I wouldn't try to blast your way out of this. And why is that? Because of those words. As Bakugo looks over, note, if you blast your way out of here, the defenses will automatically activate and will kill anyone in the process. This place has defenses? Well, there's that beast in here. Wait, beast? Yes, it's basically my, gigantic beast form, who somehow has sentience, and is now on the hunt for anyone in the building. As Bakugo simply hits his head. So you're saying we're under attack by your own quark? Essentially, yes. Don't worry, I know exactly how to beat him. And that would be, run until I can think of a solution. But don't worry, is there anyone else here? Yeah, the LV got teleported here. Oh, then we have time to discuss of a plan. I could defeat him, yes. But his brute strength is going to be problematic. So, we're really going to have to think of something quick. As then the mindscape just shifts as it turns sideways. What was that? As we go back outside where All For One had hit him with an air cannon, which did hit the ink demon in the head, which sent him flying back a little bit, but didn't do much damage to the ink demon. As he gets back up, you really thought you could defeat me? As he makes a huge hand out of ink and starts swiping on the ground as All For One and All Might are in the way. As All For One uses a fire quirk to protect himself and All Might punches it, dispersing the ink. As the ink demon's getting a little bit tired of this. I'll deal with you now. As he starts to point his hand in, a lot of ink bullets start coming out of his fingers. As All For One's protecting himself from the ink bullets, and All Might is simply evading them. And then a huge hand just comes going through a building, hitting the ink demon, sending him flying in the air. As the ink demon is sent flying in the air, as he makes some, bird-like wings, or more like dragon-like wings, as he starts to fly in the air. What was that? As then he looks over and sees Gigantomachia, who sends a fist towards the ink demon. As he quickly covers himself in ink as he's sent down to the ground. As All Might, what is that? As All For One laughs, that is Gigantomachia, you heroes are done. As Deku, the ink demon gets up and starts to transform into his huge form. That Bendy unlocked, but yes. The huge, gigantic form. You don't stand a chance against me. As he starts to, throw hands with Gigantomachia. And in this form, there is a bit of a drawback for the ink demon. He has harder with mobility, but that's pretty much the only downside. As they're just trading blows, again, Gigantomachia's skin is hard as mountain. So it's going to be hard to really deal damage to him. As they're just trading blows, as basically every hit Gigantomachia does to the ink demon, he has to reform, which there's a split second he could get hit again. So he constantly is evading while reforming his body and has to deal with hit and backup tactics for the time being. As he starts to form his hand into a drill and tries to hit Gigantomachia, cutting him a little bit on the arm, but managed to miss because Gigantomachia evaded. As the ink demon is, fighting with Gigantomachia, and All For One is fighting with All Might. I'll have to deal with them later, All Might thinks. First, I must deal with you. Well, we did take some damage from that, well, pest. But I will deal with him after I deal with you, All Might. As All for One smirks. And this is where we go back into the mindscape where we see twice Dobby and Toga all running away from the Beast Bendy. As, why aren't our quirks working efficiently in this place? Dobby says, I don't know. Wherever we are, it's lowering our power or something. As they're like running like super fast to get away from the Beast Bendy Deku, who's just going through walls, going through doorways where these guys have just been running, basically shattering areas. As it starts to just chase after them. As twice happens to bump into a familiar face known as Mr. Compress. Mr. Compress, what are you doing here? As Mr. Compress sees the Beast Bendy Deku, who's just now standing over them while they see Toga and Dobby just continue running off. Yeah, I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing about? Yeah, you should apologize. As then, a huge hand just comes down and squishes both of them. Of course, making them go unconscious and falling out of the mindscape, which, funny enough, they land on a hero known as Endeavor, and causing Endeavor to get hit by a Nomu and sent flying into a building. As the Beast Bendy Deku then takes his attention towards the flaming person known as Dobby, who's trying to get away by leaving a bit of a firewall, which, I'm sorry, in this world, the Bendys have full control over it, so he simply just runs around it. He just goes straight through the walls around the fire and just simply continues the chase. Now, the only ones left in the mindscape should be Bakugo, Deku, Dobby, Toga, Shigaraki, and Kurogiri. As we go back to the Ink Demon, who's currently fighting, well, Gigantomachia. As Gigantomachia gets a lucky hit where the Ink Demon's main body in the Ink Giant was, and sends him flying out, as he makes some like dragon-like wings. I didn't want to have to use this form because it takes a lot of effort, and I was trying to keep it for later, but I guess I've got no choice. As he had transformed into a dragon made of ink. I do not have an image, so it's not going to be on the thumbnail. So he just simply makes a ink breath as he starts to, well, basically shoot out ink through his mouth, covering pretty much the face of Gigantomachia and his arms, as the dragon just smirks. And this distracts All for One and All Might from their fight as they see this. What is he doing? I don't know, but it's something not good. As then, well, All for One, taking the opportunity while All Might's distracted, hits All Might in the face, sending him flying. You should really pay attention to your opponent. As for a moment, the Ink Demon takes a look over at All for One, but then takes his attention back to, well, Gigantomachia, as he's more of a threat. If I can't defeat you by the normal means, I'll simply do this. As he flies above in his dragon form and then grabs onto Gigantomachia's back and starts to lift him up as Gigantomachia is trying to grab him with his arms. But nothing to prevail as he's lifting Gigantomachia in the air. As this is being caught by helicopters, news reporters, All Might, heroes, hawks, Nezu, pretty much everyone in the area. As Gigantomachia is now being taken away, and for record, the public doesn't know who this guy is. They don't know who the Ink Demon is. So they're thinking it's another hero. So a helicopter decides to get close to, well, the Ink Dragon, just for it to get hit with an ink spike through its tail, causing it to go down and explode. Yeah. Don't worry, the news reporters survived because they had parachutes. Now, we go back to, well, in the mindscape where we see an unconscious Toga currently being pummeled by a beast bendy, who's currently just having fun, just throwing her around the room. The beast bendy Deku just simply picks up, Toga by the leg and just tosses her across, the mindscape. She's gone through 3 walls. Also is now stuck in a barrel because the last thing she hit was a barrel in her. And she's now stuck in it. As the Beast Bendy goes over to where Toga is, as she's trying to get out of the barrel she got hit into by going through walls and colliding with a stack of barrels. As she's trying to get out, as the gigantic Beast Bendy just smiles before, raising its hands and forms it into a spike ball. And this goes straight down and hitting Toga and leaving several spikes within her body as she's bleeding before then being teleported out of the mindscape. Now, she gets teleported onto a very hero that is trying to catch up with, the Ink Demon, also known as Hawks. As he just sees a body start falling from the sky right in front of him, as he quickly goes to save the person to realize it was an LOV member who is in critical condition, and if doesn't get immediate treatment, will die. Now we go to the LOV members that are still alive and not defeated in the Mindscape, which is Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and, Dabi, as they had all managed to group up. Okay, can someone explain to me why we can't get out of here? As Kurogiri says, my portal quirk will not allow me to teleport any of us out of here for some reason. It's like there's a block on us. As they're wandering the facility, as now there is, I'm just going to pull up an imaginary map. As we see these people on the map, we see, Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and Dabi in the main area. We see the Beast bang Deku down some floors, and we see Deku and Bakugo in the ink machine room. That is currently the layout of where they are in the Ink Demon's Mindscape realm. And we go back outside to where the Ink Demon had finally reached the sea. As Gigantomachia is still trying to get off. He's growing bigger, but every time he grows bigger, the Ink Demon is just putting more ink into him, causing him to grow bigger. As they're finally over the ocean, I could finally get rid of you for good. I doubt you can swim with a body like this. Truth be told, I wouldn't be surprised if he could. As he drops, Gigantomachia into the sea. As he simply just gets back up and starts to try to swim and swimming towards land. Okay, I didn't calculate that he could swim. I'm gonna have to do something. This is gonna drain a lot of my energy, but if it's to keep him down, I suppose it's worth it. As he puts his hand into the water as it dissolves. As it was like the dragon ink hand. As a giant wave of ink starts to go straight for Gigantomachia. As he puts his hands together, and the entire area around Gigantomachia was turned to ink, as a lot of ink hands are causing him to go under the water. Drown, you fool. Drown. As he's getting pulled under the water. Truth be told, I'm not going to kill Gigantomachia in this. He's simply going to be covered in an ink shell. Because I want to. So, Gigantomachia was defeated by the Ink Demon. As then he takes his attention and flies back to the fight. Now, All Might has just defeated All for One. As well, the Ink Demon arrives back there. Well. It looks like you already defeated All for One. This makes my job a lot easier. Tell me what you did with, Zuku Midoriya. He's fine. I have no intentions of killing the pest. But if you want to know, you'll have to defeat me in combat. As then he knows something. Why isn't he doing his job? As he realized Deku had escaped his little imprisonment. As he just sighs, if you want something done, you do it yourself. As we go back to the mindscape where the beast, well, Bendy is roaming around trying to find them. As then the ink demon appears. What did I tell you? Find them! What did I tell you about letting the little brat escape? As the beast, Deku just glares and just starts to growl at him. Get rid of the LOV in the mindscape. Here in my realm. I wanted them gone. Kill them. I don't care. Just get them out of here. They're a nuisance. I brought them in here so I didn't have to deal with them, and you could have as well. At least a little bit of fun. Get the job done. I will deal with Bendy and Bakugo myself. As he starts to walk away, as the ink beast Bendy just starts to go towards Shigaraki, Dabi, and, well, Kurogiri. And the ink demon, who is now split himself into two, one controlling the main body, and one that is in the mindscape. Note, the one in the mindscape is connected to the actual body, so if it takes damage, the main body will also take damage. Take note for that for later. As, well, he's fighting All Might, and a lot of heroes start to intervene. The Dragon Hero comes in, and a lot of other heroes come in. Like, there's still a bunch of Nomus, and because, well, the Doctor doesn't really have any more, plans, as All for One's defeated and the LV is gone. He simply sends all the Nomus he had created towards All for One's location to try to rescue him, where they'll be fighting an army of heroes, the Ink Demon, and now a bunch of high-end Nomus and regular Nomus. So that's going to be fun. For all the heroes, at least. But anyway, let's go back to the beast, Bendy Deku, who's currently chasing after, or heading towards, the LOV members. As they're discussing how possible ways to get out of here. There must be an exit out of here somewhere. Why don't we just try to defeat that beast we found and try to question him? As Shigaraki and Kurogiri look over at Dabi. Beast? Yes, there's a giant beast around here, but our quirks seem to be nullified to some degree in here. Nullified, you say? Yes. Well, that would explain why Kurogiri can't teleport out of here. Can you still teleport through the building in here? Yes, I can teleport to certain areas I've been in this place. But that's pretty much it. Where are we? As they don't have a clue. As then the beast Bendy Deku simply just puts his hand up through the floor, grabs Kurogiri, and brings him down. And that's my cue to run, as Dabi just starts to blitz out of the room, as Shigaraki does the same. As we go to Kurogiri, who's getting ragdolled. Of course, he tries to use his warp gate, not so effective. As he's about to teleport, we see the beast Bendy Deku grab a steel beam and just toss it. As right before Kurogiri was about to warp gate away, the metal beam went straight through his metal collar, technically killing the high-end Nomu known as Kurogiri. As, of course, his body falls out of the dimension because he was defeated and killed. And we go to Shigaraki and Dabi, who are currently still running amok as the beast Bendy Deku just jumps up and starts to chase them. And now, while this is happening, we go over to Bakugo and Deku, who are currently in the ink machine room thinking of a plan. As Deku's just simply messing with the machine, as Bakugo is there going to ask questions. So how is this going to be a part of the plan? I don't know, maybe I can overload him? That's my thought process. You're just going to make him stronger. That is also a possibility. As then we hear some applause. That isn't a bad strategy, I must say, as both Bakugo and Bendy look over and sees the ink demon. And Deku's like, who might you be? If you must know, I am the Ink Demon. And also your demise. As Deku's like, wait, are you the person that locked me up here? Yes, in short, I was. Then Bakugo asks, where's the exit? Why would I tell you that? As he then sends several ink, whips towards them. As, well, Bendy just simply turns into ink and goes into the floor, dodging them, while Bakugo explodes over them. Bakugo is exploding towards, the Ink Demon, as he simply punches him. As this is where Bendy, pops out the ink in front of him and manages to land a hit on, the big demon's leg, causing it to move a bit to the right, as he falls to a knee, before then just trying to swipe at Bendy, who goes back in the ink and teleports. As we go back to the real world of my hero, as they see the Ink Demon fall to one knee. Gotta be careful in fighting too. As then All Might comes in to hit him in the head, as he quickly turns his body into ink and falls to the floor. This is gonna be such annoying. As then he moves back to try to focus on both fights at once. As the Ink Demon is struggling a little bit with controlling he's mostly focusing on the outside fight because he's dealing with heavy hitters. As we go back to the Mindscape where the Ink Demon stands back up. Y'all are gonna pay for that. As Bakugo then comes in saying a bunch of explosions towards the Ink Demon, which do nothing. As then he goes to punch Bakugo, which would have been fatal because he was using his claws. Until Bendy just simply grabs Bakugo's legs and tosses him backwards, causing him to hit the wall. As he says, Deku, what was that for? Simple, you would have gotten hit and possibly impaled if I didn't do that. As then Deku then gets kicked by the Ink Demon, causing him to fly in a cartoonish-like style towards the wall, as then he just splatters into ink. As he reforms behind the Ink Demon, you think I'll fall for that twice? As he sends his hand over, Bendy simply just transforms, or makes an ink car and just hits the Ink Demon in the back. As he then goes flying, both in the ink realm and in the real world of my hero, as they both collide, both versions of him collide into a wall. As the heroes are a bit confused, but most of them are focused on the Nomu, except really All Might, who is still fighting the Ink Demon. As they're trading blows, he's trying to figure out what's happening with him. As the Ink Demon sends several ink spikes where All Might barely just managed to dodge. And this is where Endeavor comes in with a huge heat blast from above that would have vaporized a normal Ink Demon. As it was a primordial burn, of course, All Might scolds Endeavor, saying he killed him. But it's the Ink Demon. No, he's not dead. He is not dead. As the Ink Demon just simply pops out from All Might's shoulder where he had placed ink, and simply just socks Endeavor, sending him flying to just like Team Rocket would. Get out of here, this isn't your fight. Also, I hope you enjoyed the little gift I gave you. As we go to a flying Endeavor, who's technically blasting off, as he finally regains control a bit with his flames, as then a bunch of, ink spikes form from his back, impaling him in several spots. As he falls to the ground, a hero notices it, goes over to help Endeavor. Now we go back to, the Ink Demon, who just also socked All Might in the face as he basically came off his shoulder through that small ink spot on All Might. You're pretty strong, All Might, I'll give you that. But you stand no chance against me. As then, the Ink Demon's head goes into the ground. As we go to the Mindscape, and we see that Deku managed to hit the Ink Demon's head with the bat. As now, the Ink Demon is really angry. As he tries to grab, Deku as he just runs so fast and kicks him in the side. And he reinforced it with a spike boot, so he goes flying. As he also does this in the fight with All Might, where he goes flying away, and he hits an ink factory. Coincidence. As he smiles. As All Might follows. As Bendy's putting up a good fight against the Ink Demon, and Bakugo really can't do anything in this fight, since the only person that can really hit the Ink Demon is Bendy. So we just see Bakugo who's technically unconscious for quite a bit, wake up and hears two guys running, as it's both Shigaraki and Dabi. As he looks over, what are y'all two doing? As then he sees the Beast Bendy come into view, as they run right past Bakugo, as he just turns it and hauls to run with them. As they're now just running, and they turn the corner, as Bendy and the Ink Demon look back as they see the Beast Bendy just go flying down and just hitting a wall before making the corner. Can I have a question? Who is he? As Bendy Deku asks, who is he? Or what if Deku had Bendy's powers? Yes, that would be, your other form who is sentience. So... As then he just socks Deku in the face, sending him flying back. As he gets back up, you'll pay for that, you know. You don't have the strength to defeat me. You really want to see about that? As he raises up his hands in boxing style. As he smiles. As we go back to the, fight with All Might. As the Ink Demon Deku is now in the main area of the ink factory that he had got punched into. Or technically sent flying into. But as he just stands above as All Might's there, surrender, villain. Not a chance. As he just jumps off the little ledge he was at and into the ink. As he forms a giant ink form. As he then starts fighting All Might, throwing punches. As they start colliding with fists. Now All Might is using 100% of his quirk, so it is blasting several parts of the Ink Demon away, but not doing damage due to his morph ability with his powers. Now we go back to the mindscape where Bendy and the Ink Demon are fighting. As, Bendy's using all types of materials. He's using cars, he's using bats, he's using chairs, he's using barrels, he's using anything he can possibly find to try to defeat the Ink Demon. Now, he is doing damage, but the reason the Ink Demon is not moving in the real world by the effect of this is because his main body is taking the damage in the ink giant form currently, because he refueled his supply of energy because he just drained all the ink out of the ink factory. Now, the Ink Demon's had enough. You know what? I'm ending this now. As he starts to make a large, hand as he sends it through. Don't worry, that won't... As he says he's about to dodge or something, he then gets hit by the attack, setting him flying. As he goes flying, and he's like, you know what? I know what this needs. As he then forms a glider and just flies around the hand after being sent flying, and then just kicks him in the head, which causes, the Ink Demon to go flying out of the big ink body, which falls upon All Might, who gets covered in ink, while the Ink Demon was just sent out of the building. You're such annoying. If I wasn't fighting All Might out there, I would have this victory 100%. Really? Then who's that guy behind you? As he looks behind him, expecting to see something, as then he gets socked by a good old glove fist, sending him flying through the hall. As he gets back up, you're gonna pay for that. Nope, because I found your weakness. As a little disc appears in his hand, as the Ink Demon's eyes widen, don't you dare, as he runs straight towards, to Deku. But we take a quick intermission and go see what are the LV and Bakugo are doing currently. As we see them running towards the hall, does anyone have a plan to get this thing off us? Don't look at me. I tried fire, but it doesn't seem to affect him. It's because he's been learning to resist fire, you idiots. As both the LOV members look at Baku. What do you mean? Deku, the main person that has this quirk, we're currently in I don't know where. That's a version of himself. Fire won't really work because he's built up a resistance towards it. Really? Yes. In fact, I think the only thing that could actually just take that thing is a primordial burn, perhaps. I don't know. As they're running, and Dabi's quirk and Shigaraki's quirk doesn't really stand a chance because, well, Shigaraki can't even get a grip on it liquid, so how is he going to decay it? As they just keep on running, as then they turn a corner once again, causing the ink demon to slide through the wall, but this time fall down several corridors. As we just hear a big thing hitting pipes, as they both all three look out the doorway, as they see an ink demon, the beast bendy just falling down like several pipes. As then we have someone come out, "Hey, I've seen this before." As they turn around and they just see no one. Who said that? It's a classic. Again, who said that? The LOV and Baka are confused. As, well, we go back to Deku, who's still holding a little spear. Or thing that says the end. Don't you dare as he runs towards it as he puts it in the machine. As he's close to Bendy, as then a white light occurs as the LOV members are teleported out. The ink demon is defeated, and Deku is currently standing on a building with a cloak. I have made it to victory! As, of course, several years go by as Deku has now become one of the most top heroes in the world. Respected and all that. And the ink demon has yet to be heard of ever again. And the LOV and All For One and Gigantomachia were all wrapped up. As then we go into his mindscape as we see, well, some teeth and laughing. You think I'm done? As then we just see a giant hammer hit the ink demon. You're done. As it was Deku. As he just wipes his hand and puts a sign. The end. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. And make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you like this series. Also make sure to thank Isaiah.